Alright, so it's the next day. The Dodge is safely here at the house. What I really want to do is take the carburetor off of it and get it taken apart and clean it, because it's barely running, and you can smell the old bad gas in the carburetor even though the gas tank is not hooked up. But we got some storms coming through for the next 2 days, so I want to go ahead and get the carburetor off, at least get it in the ultrasonic cleaner and get it clean, and then we'll get it back on there. And I'm gonna try and do some checking on a lot of the brake components, like original reman master cylinder and maybe a reman brake booster. This one has the hydro booster. Let's see if we can get up here. And it looks like it's been on here ever since the truck was new. So it has this vacuum canister here, and you got brake fluid that comes through here. It's kind of like a secondary master cylinder. All the brake lines look to be intact. They look kind of surface rust, but I believe they'll be alright. But they got the wrong master cylinder on there. It's probably why the brakes were locking up and not working right. But I want to trace the lines all the way down, get all new brake lines. Not brake lines, but brake hoses for the front wheels. And there's one hose. Let's see here. Still gonna check all the metal lines. You got a brake hose. I know it's kind of dark. You got a brake hose here that goes over the axle. So I want to replace that. Now this has the 2-speed gearbox in the rear end. It's got a switch up there. I want to check this out, but that'll be later. Right now I'm more worried about getting it run right and get some brakes. So I'm gonna go back up front. I think this thing's got dual wheel cylinders too, one at the top and one at the bottom on each back wheel. I don't know about the front, I know on the back. So anyway, let's see if we can get this carburetor off here. Get it inside and get it apart before it gets too dark. I think I got all the tools I need. Let's see, can I get over in here? Ooh, almost set on the hood latch. That would have hurt. Get the fuel line off. I really hate that it started getting dark early, because I just don't have time to do anything outside. Now it's got a manual choke. I'm trying to put my knees somewhere. It's got a manual choke cable. Yeah, I hate it. Daylight saving time comes. You can't get nothing done these days. Gotta get the throttle cable off. Sound like the accelerator pump works good. And the carburetor. It's just gummed up. I don't know why they put this big, humongous Carter pin. They put this big, humongous Carter pin through the doggone throttle cable. Probably want to go get some needle nose. Why did they do that? They found the biggest Carter pin they can find to stick through there. This is ridiculous. Starting to get dark. Might have to cut this Carter pin in half. Get some vice grips and get it off. I'll show you what I'm talking about. They got this big humongous Carter pin going through the throttle cable through the carburetor linkage. So I'm gonna have to get that out. But I'm gonna go ahead and pull this thing off. Like I say, it's starting to get dark. And I might have to cut that Carter pin. We'll get the carburetor off, get it inside, and we'll tear it apart and see what it looks like. So here's the carburetor off of the Dodge. I guess we're going to break into it and get this thing clean, and hopefully it'll run a whole lot better. Let's see what we got here. Should we start there? No, I say we start on taking this linkage off. These little bitty pieces. So that was the choke linkage, and this is the manual choke. It had a choke cable on it, so we don't gotta worry about that. I think you might can get down inside of the bowl of the carburetor, this little top, but I don't want to take apart too much. Where'd that little washer go? Oh well, I'll find it. Couldn't have went too far. Been a while since I've been in a Dodge 2-barrel carburetor, but carburetors are carburetors. Got this arm. That's your accelerator pump. It's working too. It squirted gas. I think it was remanufactured 9/10 of 08. So, like I say, he had this truck for a long time. Oh, we got 2 screws at the back. It's probably back when he got the motor rebuilt. I was up under it looking, the freeze plugs and everything on the side of the engine. Frost plugs, freeze plugs, core plugs, whatever you want to call them. They look new. So that engine has been rebuilt. Like I say, he was using that truck to haul cars back and forth to the shop. I hope we don't tear no gaskets up. Actually, it's not even dirty in there. It looks pretty clean in there. Look at that. Something's clogged up somewhere though. Oh, this one of those ones you gotta pull the fuel inlet tube out to get the floats out. It's probably some trash down inside of there. There's some lower jets. I see a check ball right here. That's for the accelerator pump. We need to get that out of there. Don't want to lose that. There's a spring. That don't go to that. There's a little trash I can see down in there past the needle. Make sure there's no loose particles. Pour this gas. Pour this gas in this bucket. That way, if anything fall out, it'll fall in there. I just see trash down there past the needle, but we'll spray it all out, clean it out anyway. It's definitely got an issue. I hate to take that off because it's got one of those like crush seal washers. And I remember in the past, once you break them free, they just leak. So this has the needle and seat made into the inlet. And you can't get the floats out until you remove it. It's got some, yeah, it's got trash down in the bowl. Not nothing big though, but so we'll spray all that out, take the air hose, spray through those jets. I mean, a grain of salt can stop up these carburetors. I don't know if I want to pull all this off. I mean, I might as well. I just don't want to mess up the gaskets though, but we'll pull it off anyway. We'll clean all this out. I'd rather be safe than sorry. Put it all back on there and it still don't run right. We could just drop it off in the ultrasonic cleaner. There's some jets. This is where your fuel squirts through to go down until your engine, when you open the flaps up. There's a check ball there. Make sure not to lose those. Yep. There's two jets down here at the bottom. Pull these out. Make sure nothing else loose. I think they're the same size jets, so you won't have to worry about mixing them up. We'll lay them out like they came out though. They're clean. This is a 3-base style carburetor. You got your lower half here. There's some screws right here you can take out and take the bottom of the carburetor apart. We could break it all the way down to that and clean the bowl out completely. It's definitely stopped up. It didn't want to accelerate right. It's actually almost, it's just 2 more screws and you're down to the bottom of the carb. Good thing about videoing yourself rebuilding stuff, you can always go back and watch it. Then you'll know what you took loose, what you might have lost. That's just a bolt. The bolt's got to go in first. So this is the bottom half. So we'll lay that there. And now we're just down to the, basically, the heart of the carburetor, the ventry. There's a lot of passages and stuff inside of there that can get clogged up, not let air or fuel go through, and that will cause the engine not to run right. It's made by Carter, manufactured by Carter Carburetors, St. Louis, USA. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna drop this in the ultrasonic cleaner and let it do its job. Up top, I see there's the accelerator pump right here. It's nice and soft. When these are hard, they don't want to pump right. Basically, it's not really nothing up here. You take this plate off, that's just how you replace the accelerator pump, so you can do it on the side of the road if you had to. So I'll probably just blow some air through that in the bottom, and this part here will squirt your gas down into the ventry of the carburetor, or what do you call it, or you might just shoot some air through that, clean it out with some cleaner. So I'm gonna drop this in the ultrasonic cleaner and let it soak and do its thing, and then we'll put it back together, put it on the truck, and hope for the best. Here fighting with getting the brake drum off the truck, and I had to hook a come along over to the lug nuts and finally got the drum off. And I think I see why it had a brake locking up issue, and the reason was because this brake spring came off. It was just kind of hanging and dangling, and the adjuster is stuck all the way out as far as it can go. So the brakes were just holding on to this side, because I can tell when I try to move it, it feels like there's a brake grabbing. So I got a bukus of parts coming for it, new wheel cylinders, brake lines, master cylinder. So but brake pads, shoes, they don't look too bad. They got a little life left in them, but yeah, that was a fight getting that drum off. It would come off the bottom, but the top, the brake shoes were just holding on. I kind of got into it a little bit right there. You can see where they were gripping. They were adjusted out too far, really. I'm gonna do some checking on some shoes anyway, because looking at this adjuster, it is out so far that I bet you that it needs a set of shoes. Somebody either adjusted them out far to make it stop, or the self adjusters was adjusting. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all this tore apart, cleaned off, and see if I see any part numbers on these shoes. Finding brake parts for this thing is kind of hard too. If you got a part number, you can cross it over. So I'm gonna clean those shoes up and see if I can find a part number. And I got like 6 wheel cylinders. I don't know if the fronts are different from the rear. I'm thinking they all the same. I hope they all the same. I did find out they show 3 different kinds for this type of truck. So anyway, I am going to do some research on that, and I can't get the lug nuts loose on the driver's side wheel. I'm gonna have to get a torch and heat them up. So just working with old stuff that's been sitting for years. Alright, so after successfully getting the wheel lugs off, now we got to get this drum off, and that cap actually screws off of there. Somebody's been using a punch, look like, and a hammer, but that's actually a socket head cap. So I think I got the right side. Oh, it's already loose. I didn't do that already. I checked it first. I didn't loosen it. I don't know why they was hitting it with a hammer and a punch. I guess they didn't have a socket that big. So standard stuff. You got a Carter pin and a nut, the spindle nut. So let me get something to lean on. Working with these big trucks is kind of out of my wheelhouse, but I can do it. I mean, drum brakes is drum brakes, no matter how you put it. They're all the same. But I have to break out the big gun tools for this job here. I already got the other wheel studs, I mean not wheel studs, wheel brake cylinders on order, a cylinder for the other side. Let me get a nut to fit that. This side right here. Ooh. Sounds like pads are almost non-existent, or shoes. This side spins way a lot better than the other side did. The other side was locked up. Wheel cylinder was locked up, and the brake adjuster and the spring was off. Hopefully this side comes. Need to get that bearing out of there. Let me get some prying tools. I hate you have to break it down just to figure out what parts you need, but for these old big trucks, really in a Dodge, it might be Ford, it's not a whole bunch of information out there. I mean you can call one of the big truck lines or truck parts place. They can help you, but O'Reilly's and stuff like that, you gotta have the part numbers. The only thing they were seeing was like the W300 series. That's like the 3/4 ton trucks. I do not want this to fall out on my foot, so I'm gonna move y'all back, because if it flies out there, I don't want to be crushed. This one should come off easy. Well, I guess not. Pull the freaking. Man, I hope this side ain't gonna be like the other side. Spins freely, but the things that hold your shoes to the backing plate are weak. That's what happened to the other side too. I mean, I'm putting all new shoes. You got to pull this thing off even. I guess they got some kind of tool you can use. Keep forgetting this was reverse threads. So it's left hand threads. Let's tighten it up. Let me see, can I? This makes no sense. Sliding off there for a minute. easy, but the dang. All kind of parts are falling out here. Dirt daubers. Big dirt dauber's nest. Shoes are just adjusted out so far. That's what the problem is. There's a dirt dauber just blocking. Same as the other side was, except this one. See, the shoes are so close to the edge of the drum, you can't. Slide back up on. We're gonna have to probably do like I did the other side. Hook the common on into the bumper of the van or the truck and ease it off of there because there's so much weight. Adjuster is stuck. Let's see if I can. The adjuster won't even move. If I can put the jack up under it, maybe that'll keep it from leaning down, and I can pull it straight off of there. Let's try this. Jack up on it. That'll pop it off at the bottom. I ain't never seen a drum that wouldn't come off. It is called big time. Yeah, the pad is cocked to the side down in there. Hit it with the hammer. This is a disaster zone here. There it goes. It's off there now. Man. Alright, now I gotta get the drum off. It's gonna be heavy. Oh! This spring is intact, except for my shoe keeper that came off. But look at the dust, spider webs, stuff in there. That is she's been out on there for a while. You take the air hose and blow all that off. These pads, shoes are thin, but I need the part number off the back of that wheel cylinder. So I'm gonna have to take all that off, take the wheel cylinder off, get that part number. Guess I can see it up here. Oh, I can. Yeah, that's part number there. I mean, even though I gotta take it off, but that is a FD3370. I think that's the same part number. I think it is the same part number. Some of them have the same part number, some of them don't. Still, I was gonna have to tear it down anyway. But I'm gonna double check that. These shoes are wore. The drum looks good though. So I'm gonna blow all this off. Make sure that's the part number that's on the other one. And if it is good, I ordered 2 anyway. They'll be here next week. And if it's not, I'll call them back and order another one of these for this side. But where the brake line goes in looks different. Let me go get the other one. Yep, it's the same part number, alright. I don't know if y'all can see it. It's kind of rusty looking. FD3370. FD3370. Same part number. For some reason, when you put it on there, the brake line So on the opposite side, like you have your brake line on the one that's on the truck, the brake line, I'll show you. It's kind of hard for me to explain. I don't know if you can see that in there. But the brake line is kind of dark in there. I can't see. The brake line sticks out going towards the rear of the truck. And on the other side, the brake line, see where this one is? It's going towards the front. It sits in there like that, but the brake line is towards the front. That's why I thought they were different. I guess it don't matter which way the brake line goes in, as long as the both holes is the same. It's the same part. Is that it? That might be an 8. They gotta be different, unless they just. No. Same thing. I don't know. Well, we got it on order anyway, so I'm gonna get all this cleaned up, and I got the rebuilt, well not rebuilt, but clean carburetor back on it, and it still ran like crap. So I went on Amazon and ordered a brand new cheap China brand carburetor for it. So maybe we can move along, put that on there, at least get it cranked up and see how it runs. So I finally got the rear drum off. That's another big drum. And on these, you have to pull the axle out to get the drum off. Here's the axle right here. So if you pull the axle, which is held by these studs, it's got some nuts that holds it in. It's a pretty big drum. And here's your wheel cylinders here. You got one at the top and one at the bottom. The one at the bottom is the one that's leaking. See, it's wet in there. It's got that little tray. I guess it collects the brake fluid so it won't get on your shoes and contaminate your shoes. That's a smart idea. I already took this one loose. This one, it's froze. I already took this little cap off. Just wanted to show y'all. It is really froze up. Rusted solid. So I got some coming. Actually, I think I got the wrong ones. These bolt diagonally, not straight across like normal ones. So I think I ordered the wrong ones. I should have looked at the back of the backing plate and I would have seen that. But we might be able to, if they're the same bore and everything, if these bores ain't messed up, we might just be able to swap all the stuff out of the new ones into these, if I can get this piston out. There's something squirting out of there. One side's not locked up. This one is though. I can't even. Yeah, it's froze. But look at the massive brakes on this thing. Massive drum brakes. Don't look like it don't have any adjustments, which I don't see. But anyway, I got the left rear tore down, along with the front still tore down. So I'm gonna stop right here, gather up the parts I got that should be in next couple of days. What's up with my camera here? It just went loco for a minute. To do the front, and then we'll do the, I at least want to finish the front, and then that way I can finish the back and put the put this side back together and put the other side together. So I'm gonna work on the front first. So I guess I'll go back doing some more parts hunting or if we can use these bores, we can just take everything out of the new ones and put them in here. So alright, so here is the Amazon brand carburetor. It's a Neukuten Nenkuten Neukuten, whatever. It's cheap and affordable. So anyway, it's supposed to be the same carb. Oh, it tells you how to open the box up. Really? Yeah, it's got a piece of tape right here. You get something to cut that. But anyway, it's supposed to be the same carburetor as a remanufactured one and the factory one. I didn't see all this here. There we go. I should have read the instructions on how to open the box up. Alright. This one has a vacuum operated choke. That one up here has a manual choke. But I know you're not supposed to turn carburetors upside down, but they get turned upside down in the box during shipping. Comes with gaskets, but yeah, this one's a vacuum operated choke, which you can put the manual choke wire on there and just unhook this vacuum solenoid if you wanted to, but we're gonna get it on there because this one is giving me so many problems. After I cleaned it, if you hold your hand over it, the truck will crank up, but it only run if the accelerator pump is unhooked. So if you unhook the accelerator pump rod right here, it'll sit there and idle and everything. As soon as you hook it up, it's like it's throwing more gas. So I don't know if that diaphragm on the accelerator pump is just weak or something else is stopped up. I just said for $75, I just went on there and just ordered a new one. And hopefully it works. So I'm gonna take that one off. We'll get the new one on there, and hopefully this thing will crank up and run like it's supposed to. So they don't have much daylight left. I really want to get the thing running right. I really want to get it running right, so that way when we get the brakes fixed, we won't have to worry about carburetor issues. Even though I'm still going to have to hook up the original gas tank, because I didn't get to do that yet. But let me get all my tools here. So I did find the front brake shoes. There's a place called Fleet Pride, and actually there's one here in town. So I'm gonna give them a call. I got the part number. and hopefully I can get the front brake shoes, and we got the front wheel cylinders coming, and the back wheel cylinders, I got 2 of them from O'Reilly's. They only had 2 in stock, so I bought, believe it or not, I bought 3 of them off of Amazon for $5 a piece. I hope it came with a screw for this linkage, because they had a quarter pin shoved in there, and it took me forever to get that thing out for the throttle cable. I'll hook the spring over here, and then we gotta undo the manual choke. That was just the feel line. It's hard to work in this thing. Let's see, where are my clippers at? Let me see, can I get over it here without messing up anything? For some reason it's not cranking by the key again, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. There's the choke cable, throttle's unhooked. More light. Harbor Freight was really nice to me the other day. I bought probably about $75 worth of stuff, and they gave me 2 of these LED lights. I guess they were trying to get rid of them, but they gave me 2 of them for free, and they're pretty cool. They got the little got the little spotlight, and then it's got the LED light part, and then it's got like a little hook on it. I gotta do that with a wrench. One time before, they was giving out tie down straps, ratchet straps. I think if you spend $75 or more, they give you something. But the lady gave me 2 of them, so I guess she was just trying to clear them out. She had a whole cart full of them. She was like, pick a prize or pick a gift or whatever. They had a whole bunch of other stuff on the cart, but I grabbed the lights. You always need extra light. One screw here is a pain in the booty to get to. They didn't design the carburetor where the front bolts, you can't get it. Well, you probably can get a 1/4 inch socket in there with a swivel. hopefully by the end of next week we'll have this. Well, I don't know about the back brakes, but hopefully we'll have the front brakes hooked up. These doggone screws is getting on my nerves here. I forgot to take that vacuum line off there. For your PVC valve. I feel like a caveman. Fingers. Alright, carburetor's off. So now I need to get the fuel line off of it. We'll replace this gasket. I gotta go back down and get that. So let me get that, get the carburetor back on, hook the fuel up, we'll see how it's run. Alright, so we all hooked up. So let's see what this thing crank up. We got all the throttle hooked up, we got the PVC valve hooked up, fuel line hooked up. Alright, let me get back out the way and hook everything else up. Hook here. Fuel. All right. Get the key. Okay, let's see what she does. Hook up the fuel pump and battery. Make sure all the cables and wires are out of the way. Cool. Why ain't we cranking? No function there. We're starting now. Let me get something pour up in there. I don't know why we ain't cranking. We ain't getting no fuel. Don't tell me the carburetor ain't no good already. But that ain't no good. Brand new carburetor ain't carburetor. We ain't getting no gas. Something's wrong here. fuel pressure. I think that it's almost like the float is stuck. On a brand new carburetor. The needle is right in the front of it. Did I bring the 14 wrench? No, I didn't. Let me go get one. Needle ain't stuck. I see the float. Don't tell me I have to take the top out for this carburetor. Like the float ain't floating. Get something. Something's up with the. There it goes. Here it's moving now. I wonder. Act like it needs to be in something, like it's but that's what you get when you buy cheap stuff. That's all you really can buy these days. Remanufactured and cheap. See what it does now. If this don't work, I'm gonna have to take the top off the carburetor and check that float. I hate to do that on a brand new carburetor, but do with the flathead screwdriver. When it's acting like the float not releasing, but I can feel it though. There it goes. I think. There it goes. Now we ought to be jittering. Contact. Yeah, that's far as it goes. It's running me just out of the real low. Got a vacuum. Sing it. There you go. That's how it's supposed to run. Brand new stuff, can act up. I don't think nothing on the dashboard is not wired up. Might have a boat gauge, kinda. Temp gauge ain't working. There's something in the ignition switch is not working right. Because it was cranking by the key, and then it stopped. Oh yeah, running good now. Now we can put the breather back on. And on the brakes come in. Brakes. A bad vacuum leak. I think that booster's leaking. I heard some vacuum in there. Vacuum in here somewhere. I don't know if it's coming from the heater. It sure has some vacuum though. Sounds like it. Watch when I cut it off. You hear that? Shh. It's got a vacuum leak in here somewhere. See, it won't crank by the key again. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. What's that vacuum coming from? Somewhere up under the dash. I'm gonna have to lay up on there and find it, but when I do find it, y'all will be the first ones to know about it. I'm gonna see if I can look for it down, see if I can see exactly what it is, and we'll go from there. So I got to running again and listening around. This tube here is coming from the vacuum booster from up under the truck, and if I put my finger over it, truck idles down. Take it off, truck idles up. That is a vacuum leak there, but I don't. It's on a little bracket, so I don't know what it's for. I'm gonna have to do some research. But maybe that's why that other carburetor didn't run right. Well, no, they couldn't have been it, because this carburetor here, it runs smooth as silk. But I knew I heard something, but I know that it's coming up. From the booster. Right there. Anyway, I'm gonna have to figure out, is it supposed to be something on the end of it, some kind of filter or something, or what? I will do some research and see what I come up with. So what I like to do when you get these brand new pretty chrome carburetors, I just get me a can of spray paint clear coat, and I like to spray them down with the clear coat, and that will preserve that chrome look, because you know over time what'll happen is it'll start changing colors, deteriorating. So I looked under the dash, there's nothing under there. I think it's just a vacuum sound coming from the carburetor, because I mean there's no insulation under the dash, so until I put the breather on there I won't hear it. But there's a little chrome clearage here. I gotta keep her looking. I should have did it before I put the carburetor on there, but then I wouldn't have been able to touch it because it's been sticky. So anyway, I'm gonna shut it down for now till we get the brakes, and I'm finding out why it won't crank by the key and what's up with the dash. Only the voltage gauge flickers, but temp gauge, oil pressure gauge, none of that's not working. So it's either gonna be because they got all those wires over there cut and jumped out, or a loose connection somewhere. So we'll figure that out too.